We're halfway through 2025 and most real estate agents are not profiting as much as they want to this year. They're either not hitting their sales volume targets or they're not charging high enough commissions. In one way or another, they're not bringing home enough money for their families. Today, we're going to address that problem directly and we'll help you make more profit in your real estate sales business starting today. This is the first video of 4 in a series called the 4 Profit Levers, so I encourage you to watch all 4 of them. They will absolutely transform your real estate sales business. Hi, I'm Lou Raven with REinvest Real Estate. Along with my partner Elise Palacios, we help real estate agents go from production to legacy. We are big on paying it forward and we help other agents from all brokerages inside of our community. Go to school.com and check out REinvest Real Estate. You'll find tons of free resources in there and mentorship from people like myself and Elise, all for free. Today we're talking about the first of the 4 profit levers, how to sell more houses. Now, I'll be totally honest with you, this is my least favorite of all the 4 profit levers because it involves working harder and not making more money with the activities that you're already doing. But stick with me because this is definitely an important one, especially if you're an agent who's newer in production, who doesn't have a big referral base. The best way to get a big referral base is to sell more houses up front. So today I'm going to teach you 3 strategies that I use to sell more houses while not taking a ton of additional time. I'm all about systems and leverage, and I want to help you sell more homes without working 2 or 3 times as hard. Now, like I said, I have 3 tips on how to help you sell more houses this year. Tip number 1 is start the year with a well-defined business plan. A good business plan will have a few elements to it. It will outline the amount of sales volume you need to do in a year, the number of homes you have to sell, your average price point, and the average commission that you'll charge. There's so many times that I meet real estate agents that set an income goal and stop there when it comes to business planning. It's really common for me to hear that somebody wants to make $100,000 in real estate, and I'll ask a couple follow-up questions to try to ascertain what their actual plan is to get there. And that's where agents tend to fall flat. Because of this, we created a really simple business plan formula and an income calculator that's free on school.com, and it basically translates your desired sales income into the number of units of homes that you have to sell, and that gives you a strong base to be able to plan your year off of. So you may put $100,000 worth of income into the sales calculator, you put in your average sales price, your average commission, and it will spit out the number of homes that you have to sell both in the year and the quarter. Now that's extremely helpful because that gives you sort of a roadmap or a North Star to work towards. But I recommend that agents take that even one step further. We need to break down our sales goals into weekly activities and weekly goals that we're going to accomplish. It's very hard for us to conceive of what 52 weeks in a year actually looks like. I mean, a year is just so much time. If you think about all that happens to you in a given year, how could we possibly wrap our heads around doing consistent activities for an entire year if we don't chunk them down into smaller units? So personally, I like to set my goals both on a yearly, a monthly, and a weekly basis. When I was heavily into production, I set a simple goal for myself. In my first year in real estate, I said I was going to sell 1 house per week every single week. And you know what? I did it. I ended up selling 32 homes that year. I did a couple flips and some other things that drew my attention away. But I was able to sell 21 homes in 23 weeks during that time that I was hyper-focused on sales because I made that simple goal. Now, simple is not always easy, and I'll be the first to admit that. It required some hard work and some serious focus and dedication, and it required, step number 2, tracking of my activities. Step number 2 is make sure that you have tracking for all of your activities and your results within your sales business. It's true that what gets measured is what gets accomplished. And if I hadn't been measuring my activity and my progress to my sales goals, I would have never known where I was sitting halfway, 3/4 of the way through the year. I meet so many agents that are in this situation where they look at their bank account halfway through the year, or they have some closings in their busy season, and they look at their pipeline and they realize that they have nothing left for the next 3 to 6 months in the year. That is one of the worst positions that a real estate agent can find themselves in. If we keep track of our activities and our pipeline diligently, we will always know that we have another paycheck coming somewhere at some point in time. So it's important for me both to track my activities in terms of what calls I'm making, appointments I'm setting, deals I'm getting under contract, and also the clients that I have in my pipeline. That brings me to tip number 3. You should have a well-constructed pipeline tracker that you look at all the time. Your pipeline tracker is where you track your most active leads, the hottest people that are most likely to transact soonest. For me, I always like to play the game of who can I get under contract this week and how can I move each person from one stage to the next. The reality is that a sales business is a numbers game at the end of the day. We do have to have a certain number of people who are in our pipeline, but we also have to be very purposeful with how we move people through that pipeline. If you've been in real estate for any amount of time, you'll have come to learn that real estate is largely about education and making people feel comfortable, helping them understand the process, getting them to trusted contacts like great lenders who will help educate them on the money piece. It's all about providing value and empowering the client and making them feel confident. And along the way, we'll go out with them, we'll show them homes, we'll teach them how a home works, and we'll do some other neat stuff to help them through the sales process. I like to use a very simple pipeline tracker that you can find for free in school. Go to school.com, REinvest Real Estate, and go to courses and look for how I did 21 deals in 23 weeks. There you'll find a spreadsheet that you can open on Google Sheets or download to your desktop, and it has a very simple page where you write your leads, whether they're a buyer or a seller, their price point, and their motivation on a scale of A, B, and C. Now, I did a full training on how to walk clients through from one stage to the next, so I'm not going to cover that in this video, but you can absolutely check it out by clicking the link here to how I did 21 deals in 23 weeks. This video is hosted on YouTube, and it's also in school where that spreadsheet that I mentioned is. No matter what form you use, whether it's this spreadsheet or a whiteboard or a series of post-it notes, make sure that you have something that's going to help you track your leads and move them from one stage to the next. And final tip for how to sell more homes this year is make sure that you're using your time wisely. I am a big leverage guy. I am constantly evaluating my dollar per hour that I'm earning and spending by the activities that I'm doing. Let me explain. Every single minute of our day has some type of value attached to it, and that is commensurate with whatever task we're completing. If we're lead generating, we're working for several $100s per hour because we're getting new business and new sales that will eventually close. If we're working on tasks that we can hire out at a lower dollar per value, we're taking money away from our future selves. A classic example is transaction coordinating or marketing services. These are things you can often hire out for 15, 20 bucks per hour, and you can take a massive amount of work off of your plate, and you can reinvest that time into your higher dollar per hour activities like going on showings, going on listing appointments, prospecting for new leads, and negotiating deals. These are the core activities that real estate agents should be doing. They're the few that we can't delegate out unless we're hiring some showing coverage here and there. But things like transaction coordinating and making Facebook posts are absolutely something that can be hired out. Now, I've done extensive trainings on this topic as well, so make sure you dig through our YouTube video library and look for some of the videos that we have on leverage. Some of the ways that I like to employ leverage are joining a team if you find the right team fit, and going on websites like Fiverr.com or Upwork.com to look for freelancers. I find that solo agents benefit most by looking for freelancers on these websites because they can hire people on an as-needed basis to come up with marketing campaigns for them, create promotional event materials, and do anything else that they need to create marketing collateral for their business. You can also find transaction coordinating companies in your local market, and again, in that training video I have a ton of information on how to find a good transaction coordinating company. So that's it for today, just 3 simple tips on how to sell more homes. Like I said, I prefer some of our other tips, so make sure you check out the other videos on the for-profit levers and how to maximize the amount of money that you're making with the activities you're already doing in your sales business. If this video was helpful, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell so that way you get notified whenever we put out a new video. We put out a new video for you every single week that has actionable content that you can bring into your business to make more money right away. Again, I'm Lee Raven with REinvest Real Estate. Be sure to check us out at school.com, search for REinvest Real Estate, and you'll find an amazing community that's there to help agents free of charge with no expectation.